WinterCrest is a coven that I organized for the purpose of education and magical spirituality. People come from different walks, different traditions to study with us. And we welcome all that sincerely want to study spirituality and magic. There is a hierarchy in our coven. And if you go to www.wintercrest.com, you can read everything about this coven and join if you so elect. The reason I did this is because, in my opinion, there is so much misinformation that surrounds magic, spirituality, spiritual devotion, and all of these things. And there are many teachers out there that I just really disagree with. Many have taught things, and many of the teachings have either been incomplete or just outright wrong. And so many are out there just doing things to serve their own purposes. Their lives are a wreck, and they're trying to teach you how to get your life together. They made a mess out of their lives. And just because they say things fast or they say things that sound clever, many thousands of people think that, well, this person knows what they're talking about, so I'm just going to follow what they say. And you end up in a mess. You end up in groups where people are trying to change your gender and take things that you love and make them into something else. You get involved with these controlling freaks that want to control you, or they just want to hustle you out of all of your pocket change. There's a lot of that that's going on in our world. Jim Jones wannabe. David Koresh in the making. And a lot of people are falling prey to these things. In my opinion, there is a great hunger for true spirituality. This is why there's such a great exodus in the church. A lot of people are tired of the pastor's dogmatic ways and tired of him telling folks what to do when he's not living according to those same statutes. They're tired of hearing that Jesus will fix everything when the very priests and pastors, evangelists, bishops, and others' lives have not been fixed when they've been with these churches for decades. People want happy lives. To just simply live in a prosperous way, in a happy way, and in a way that makes sense with their spirituality. They don't mind growing. They don't mind being challenged. But they want to be told the truth. No one comes wanting to be inside of a sadistic cult. Me neither. I've been walking the spiritual plane for over 40 years. And I've gone through a lot of stuff. I first had my spiritual encounter with a Jehovah's Witness woman, but I joined a Baptist church at the age of 7. I was baptized. I started preaching at the age of 13. I was ordained to pastor at the age of 15. And at the age of 15, I pastored my first church. I was an evangelist. You go back a year at 14, in planes by myself, traveling and preaching what I believed was the truth. And, I wasn't like the other preachers. I didn't understand this exclusiveness in Christianity. A lot of people wanted to come see the child preacher, and And there was this one guy that came to me, and I remember everybody was whispering in my ear, he's a witch, he's a witch. And I had to pray for the guy. And when I prayed for the guy, I encouraged him not to pay attention to what everybody else is saying. According to my theology and my faith, I believe that God is everywhere. And I believe that God could meet you in witchcraft or Buddhist, that you didn't have to be Christian. And this kind of set me apart from other clergy. They didn't really like that teaching. These are teachings that I hold true to today. That you don't have to be a Christian or a Muslim to find the truth. You can find it your own way. You can find it in your own home. You can find it in your own experience that way. Now, I am not trying to teach you that if you find it by way of a good teacher, that you forsake that teacher. If divinity sent you a good teacher to teach you and to instruct you that way, then you should follow that way. Otherwise, you spit into the face of the Creator. And you say, well, I didn't really need that. And that's really what Jesus meant when he says, you cannot get to the Father except through me. He wasn't talking to the wider world. He was talking to his disciples. He was talking to them. How dare you come here? You didn't even think about God. It was me who mentally resurrected you. It was me who fed you. It was me who gave you all of these things. And now you're talking about me like I'm a dog when I hadn't done nothing to you but taught you spiritually. And you think that I'm carrying lies and the Sanhedrin is telling you the truth. But I say unto you, if God sent me to you, then the only way for you to get there is through me, because that's who he sent. He wasn't talking about the wider world. He was talking about his disciples. If God has graced you with a teacher, be mindful of your ego. And I know we as pagans, we don't like being subservient to no one. And I'm not trying to teach you subservience. I'm trying to teach you respect. You should respect your teachers, especially those that really truthfully mean you good. You should respect them and honor. There's this thing in the magic I practice, where I honor my ancestors. I honor those that came before me. But the question is, do I honor all of my ancestors? No. Because there's some of my ancestors that was crazy. Some of them didn't want my good. Some of them wanted my ill. So to them, there is no veneration. But to those to my Uncle George, he is highly honored because he meant good for me. He's with me and presently with me. There's other relatives that are not with me. Now, you do how you want to do, but this is the truth for me. And just like I will never forsake my Uncle George, I will never forsake true teachers who's opening up my eyes to truth and who's not taking advantage of me. Okay? So I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is that there's a lot of spiritual abuse going on. And there's a lot of people that don't mean you no good. And yet you pay attention to them. You're listening to them. You're listening to what they're saying. You're listening to what they're doing. And I think this is a mistake. And because of this, and these are some of the reasons why WinterCrest exists. And if you are interested or you are curious, you could do two things. You can subscribe to the Haven here. And you can go online, www.wintercrest.com, and find out more. Thank you for listening. This is Abiyah. Blessed be.